We're on record today for a 90-day review. This is a case where we've had a termination trial proceeding that has ended up encompassing a number of additional reviews. In our last review, there were some updates from both parents, really, about some services. And so before I issue my final opinion and order on that, I'd like to have those proofs as well. I want to say that part of the delay has been putting this file together. We've had to look through for and request transcripts for several different hearings in order to make sure that all of the information is current and complete before I made my decision. So that's part of the reason for the delay in that, and I appreciate all of you being patient on that point. So I'm looking forward to the updates today after appearances.
Lee Heiss, lawyer, guardian ad litem.
Tasha Thomas, counsel for the department. Ms. Steele?
Good morning. My name is Heather Dale. I'm the foster care supervisor at Family and Community Services.
Michael Brooks, I represent the father, Caleb Anderson. Mr. Anderson.
Caleb Anderson, here.
Thank you.
Michael McFarland, representing Ms. Patterson. Please introduce yourself.
Sarah Patterson, mother.
Thank you. I have a proposed court report for today with a VHS 69 indicating a change in caseworker. So I appreciate those updates. Ms. Heiss, your report.
Thank you, Your Honor. I have visited with the children face to face. They are in a placement that is meeting all of their needs. Their needs are almost not heightened at this point. They're catching up to developmental milestones, and they're experiencing normal traditions and holidays. And I intend to demonstrate some of the best interest factors when the caseworker takes the witness stand. Thank you.
Oh, I should note for the record, we did have a sidebar, and I basically repeated everything that I shared with the attorneys in the sidebar. Mr. McFarland, did you want to make any additional comments about what you shared?
Oh, I did have some questions about visitation, but I'll bring that up in questioning of the worker yard.
Thank you. Anyone else have any comments about the sidebar before we get into testimony?
No.
No.
Ms. Heiss, any comments about our sidebar?
I think that you covered it sufficiently, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right. Ms. Thomas, you're our first witness.
Thank you. If Ms. Steele can be sworn in.
Ms. Steele, come on up to our witness stand.
You swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do. Thank you.
Thank you.
Ms. Thomas.
Ms. Steele, you have been serving as the foster care worker in this matter, is that correct?
I have, yes.
And recently there was a change in workers, or can you just provide us a quick update on that?
There is a change in worker. However, I've still been managing the case firsthand as we proceed through these proceedings with the termination.
And as it relates to the court report that you provided, it includes there's no copy of the case service plans for the parents, but it includes the drug screen log for Miss Patterson. Is that correct?
Yes.
And are there any updates or modifications that need to be made to your report?
There are not.
And as it relates to the case service plans, have they been modified at all in the last review period?
They have not.
And this is a little bit of a different type of hearing, as we've already gone through the termination hearing, but to help the court in its decision, do you believe that there still continues to be barriers to reunification for the children with either parent today?
I do.
What are those barriers?
I guess the barriers would be a continued just addressing the substance abuse concerns that have been active throughout this case. The lack of bond between the parents and the children would be the main barriers.
And as it relates to services being offered to address those barriers, what has the agency done in this last review?
So Ms. Patterson has continued to be provided with drug trainings through runaway development. We've continued to stay in contact with her service providers through McCullough Vargas. We've continued to stay in contact with both parents. via phone, text, and mail. And then we've also provided transportation support to Ms. Patterson.
And do you believe that based on the barriers to reunification, the children should remain in care with their current placement?
I do.
How would you describe the parents' level of compliance with and benefit from their case service plans?
At this point, I would consider Ms. Patterson's to be partial compliance.
And Mr. Anderson?
He has availed himself to the services available to him in prison.
And have you continued to follow the incarcerated parent protocol?
I have.
And in your report, you highlight this, but can you just briefly articulate the risk of harm to the children if they were to be returned to either parent today?
Sure. The risk of harm if returned to Ms. Patterson would be potentially exposure to substance abuse, potentially exposure to domestic violence, and then potentially neglected overall, exposure, or I guess risk of harm to Mr. Anderson would be, he is not able to care for them at this time as he is in prison.
Since our last hearing, has Ms. Patterson provided you with any proof of employment?
She has.
Okay. And is she still employed with Kesey and Hudson?
She is.
And as it relates to housing, is she still in? Can you give an update on her housing situation?
Her housing remains the same as previously reported. She resides with Mr. Anderson's stepfather.
And do you have any concerns about that housing?
Our concern with that housing is the home itself is appropriate, but there was concerns in regards to the history between Ms. Patterson and Mr. Anderson's stepfather.
Does Ms. Patterson have does she have any transportation?
She has reported that she's working on obtaining transportation, but I don't have any updates as if that's been confirmed or not.
In previous hearings, Ms. Patterson has stated that she was not going to smoke marijuana anymore. The drug screens that you provided continue to show positive use. Is there any concern about that?
I think the main concern with that is that she did testify that she wasn't going to be smoking marijuana anymore, but yet she is. If in the event we were looking at reunification, we would ask for safety plans to be developed regarding that.
There are no reports included from the McCullough Vargas individuals who are working with her, but your report includes what information that you've obtained. Do you have any concern about her engagement with substance abuse treatment?
No, it has been reported that she has been actively engaged in the substance abuse therapy through McCullough Vargas.
Okay. And so what parts of Ms. Patterson's case service plan is she not compliant with?
I guess the main areas that we would consider not compliant would be the area of substance abuse treatment. In regards to the other recommendations that were made in her psych eval, it was recommended she participate in additional things other than just therapy. And then the concerns we have with her housing.
This courtroom hearing starts calm, but the tension rises quickly. The judge reviews a serious child custody case and reveals the kids are actually thriving in their foster home. But then the foster care worker drops a major concern. The father is in prison, and the mother's drug tests are still positive even after promising the court she would stop. Because of those risks, the agency says the children should stay where they are. Now the big question is, should the mother get more time, or should the court protect the kids' stability? What do you guys think? Comment below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more courtroom drama.
Are there any concerns about parenting skills or The services she engaged in to address that?
She did complete parenting skills at one point, or parenting education, I'm sorry, at one point throughout this case. However, we haven't had any observations of her parenting since parenting time would be suspended.
And at this time, do you believe that there has been such a change in progress that it would warrant reconsideration of the request to terminate the parents' parental rights?
I do not.
Do you believe that the children would know or recognize their parents today?
Maybe the oldest child, but I don't believe the youngest child would.
And these children have half siblings, correct?
Correct.
But they are not under the court's jurisdiction or receiving any foster care management?
Correct.
And policy only requires sibling visits to be addressed when the children are removed from the home and under foster care management.
That is correct.
Is there anything else that you'd like to update the court on today?
There is not.
Thank you. Your Honor, I have no further questions of this witness. Move to admit the court report and the drug screens that are attached.
No objections.
No objection.
I have no objection.
Thank you. They are received. Cross-examination, Mr. McFarland.
I do. You are aware from my client's prior testimony that she does have visitations with 3 of her other children who are 9, 11, and 13. Remember that?
I do.
Now, there's been no complaints filed with the state Child Protective Services regarding her having negligent or abusive parenting skills with these kids, correct?
Not to my knowledge, no.
So that would be a demonstration, wouldn't you agree, that she is able to adequately parent without issues that brought her into this case to begin with, right?
I mean, there have been no CPS complaints that I'm aware of, so yes, I guess that is true.
And you would have you've never asked for an opportunity to observe her with these children, knowing that she's with these kids, right?
I have not. I'm not exactly sure what her visitation schedule is with them.
Have you asked?
She has reported that she gets them on weekends.
Okay. So you really don't have concern with her parenting skills if you're not looking into how she's parenting currently, right?
Those kids are not under our court's jurisdiction. I would not ask to observe her parenting those children.
Well, but you did give us an opinion about her parenting skills, but you've not observed her current parenting skills, correct?
I think I stated I haven't observed her children.
I'm going to break this line of questioning. Yeah, and I'm going to
Okay,
address this line as it is not relevant to the 2 children that are under this court's jurisdiction.
Well, Your Honor, the question that was posed by the attorney for the agency, or the answer that was given, was my client's parenting skills in general. So I'm getting into parenting skills in general, and that was my last question that I was asking on that point anyway. So.
All right. Did you get an answer to that question?
Oh, I did.
He seems to be agreeable to moving on to something else, Ms. Thomas, so I'm not going to make a ruling on your objection.
Taking a look at my notes, it looks as though at least most of the testimony of this case concluded at a termination trial November of 2023 or thereabouts. Would you agree with that?
I believe so, yes.
Okay. Now, my clients, what was the drug of choice for my client, or addiction drug of choice?
I don't recall. I believe it was heroin.
Okay. Since over a year ago, she's not tested positive for heroin, correct?
I don't believe it was a year ago. I believe it was in May of 2023 that she had a relapse where she went to jail. And then I think it's been since June of 2023 that she's been clean.
Okay. So since June of 2023, she's not tested positive for heroin, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And the marijuana doesn't seem to be, nobody's reported an issue with her in minor regarding marijuana issues with anything, correct?
Correct. Like I said, the only concern we would have is we would ask for a safety plan to be implemented regarding that.
So I guess, I mean, there is some significance that she's not used heroin since, at least according to you, since June of 2023, right?
I would agree.
Okay. And at that time, she wasn't going to McCullough Vargas, correct?
Correct.
So how do you reach your conclusion that she still has an addiction issue to the extent that she shouldn't have visits with her children in this case? How'd you reach that? What's your thought process?
Just due to the lack of progress throughout the entire case, the services at McCullough Vargas only just started, not even, I think it's been about 4 months at this point. And then just the other recommendations that were made for her and her psychological were not followed.
You tell us what specific recommendations she's not followed from that psychological?
The only thing I can think of off the top of my head, I know there was numerous recommendations, I just don't have them in front of me, would be the participation in AA and NA meetings.
Do you know if McCullough Vargas is addressing those issues?
I know they do offer AA and NA, but I don't believe Ms. Patterson is participating in those.
Do you know if they are recommending that to her? Let me rephrase that.
They have not stated, no.
Okay. So they're not recommending it. I mean, the cases can be fluid and can change, right? Is that yes?
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry.
Did I hear, well, when my client had her children of this case were visiting with their half siblings, correct?
Can you repeat the question?
Right. When my client was having visitation with her children in this case, these children were having visits with their half siblings, right?
I believe the oldest child attended some visitations. I can't recall if the younger ones did.
Okay. My understanding is that the placement of these half siblings and my client have requested at least contact with the bio children from this case, correct?
Correct.
Are you saying it's policy that the child not have contact with her siblings?
It's not necessarily policy. The policy states that kids in care are required to have sibling visits and where those kids are not in care.
Well, do you think it's in the best interest when the child was having visits with half siblings just to end those point blank, just cut them off like that? Do you think that's in the child's best interest?
No, I don't think it's in the child's best interest to not have sibling visitation. However, I believe the oldest child only attended 1 or 2 visitations.
But you don't know about the youngest, correct?
Correct. I would have to review the file.
Well, if it was determined that they were having regular visits, and the court does not terminate today, what are your plans for these kids to have visits?
I don't believe the kids were having regular visits with their...
I'm saying if your investigation determines that they were, would that make a difference in them having visits or not?
If they were having visits, it's been a significant amount of time has passed since that has occurred. And so I would say, no, it's not in their best interest as they don't have a bond at this time.
But that wouldn't have been my client's fault, right?
No.
Okay. And the bond that my client does not have with these children, at least since November of 23, that's not my client's fault because there's a continuing order by the court that she not have visits, right?
Correct. Parenting time was suspended in May of 2023.
All right. So do you have any type of professional counselor today who would testify that these kids had supervised visits that are detrimental to the kids? Do you have a professional to testify today to that?
I do not.
Nothing further.
My client's earliest out date is August 2024, right?
That is correct.
Would that have any influence on your opinion that he should not be considered to get his children back?
It would not, no.
Thank you.
Ms. Heiss?
Yes, you testified that mother is testing negative except for THC. Isn't it true that she's testing positive for the medication-assisted treatment for heroin addiction?
That is correct.
So she is showing positive that she's taking her, these words are so hard.
Suboxone.
Suboxone, thank you. And at the last hearing, she indicated she was changing from the oral method of taking that substance to the shot. Has she changed?
She is still testing positive for Suboxone.
Okay, and then you testified for Mr. McFarland that she hasn't tested positive for opiates since she went to jail like last May or June, but she did test positive January 11th of 2024. Is that true?
Oh, that is correct. She did have a prescription for that.
Then the courtroom gets tense. The caseworker admits the mother finished parenting classes, but here's the shocking part. Because visits were suspended, she hasn't actually been seen parenting these kids in a long time. Even worse, the worker says the youngest child probably wouldn't even recognize their own mother today. The mother's lawyer fires back, arguing she hasn't used heroin since 2023 and still cares for her other children without complaints. But the agency isn't convinced, saying the progress is simply not enough. Now the courtroom is split, and the judge has a life-changing decision to make.
And she had OxyContin in her system at that time, correct?
Correct. And she, like I mentioned, she did provide a prescription for that.
And the prescription was because she hurt her thumb?
Correct.
And she went to the ER?
She did.
And she was treated with opiates?
She was.
So, has she tested since January 11th of 2024?
Yes,
And are those negative for opiates,
they are.
except the Suboxone?
Correct. And
But-
THC.
And you testified to Mr. McFarland that THC, nobody has told you THC is a problem. Didn't mom tell you that THC was a problem for her?
I think she had just stated that that was something she wasn't interested in using any longer.
Okay, so, you have not been able to gauge either the mother or the father's parenting ability with these children since May of 2023 because they haven't been visiting, correct?
Correct, because their parenting time was suspended.
So this is, thank you, Dave. Your Honor, may I ask a point of order? I believe that we are post-termination hearing, but pre-ruling on termination. So I would like to investigate best interest factors that wouldn't be relevant in a review. Should I do that now or recall the witness?
So I'm looking at the proceedings as though we have not concluded the termination petition.
Very
And that's because we've had the additional time that's elapsed as well as, and I think that should be considered when I decide whether or not to terminate her parental rights and Mr. Patterson or Mr. Anderson's parental rights. So feel free to explore your best interests.
Thanks. Have you, these two children are both 2 years old, is that correct?
Yes,
And have you visited them in person in this last review period?
I have.
And at any point, did the children articulate to you a need for their biological parents?
No.
They didn't ask for mom or dad?
They call their foster parents mom and dad.
Okay. Did the foster parents indicate to you in any sense that the children are asking for the people that they visited prior to May?
No.
So these, both girls are 2, are they? Did one turn 3?
I think the oldest one turned 3 yesterday.
Okay, okay. So the youngest one has been in placement since birth?
Correct.
And so her visits have all been supervised with her parents, is that true?
Yes.
So any report from any of the professionals that are working with the children that they are experiencing trauma from being separated from their parents,
No.
the biological parents, have you observed the children in their placement?
I have.
And have you observed at any bond between, let's talk about the oldest child. They're both K children, so the initials aren't going to help us much, but the older child with anyone in the placement home.
I have.
What have you observed?
They are very well bonded in their placement. They reach out to both foster parents for help if they're needing help getting a toy. It's a very normal environment for them. They have lots of toys available to them. They're constantly playing with the other siblings in the home. They're all definitely very well bonded.
So some of the older kids have bedrooms in the basement, is that true?
That is.
And the little girls have a fence so they can't go down there, correct?
I believe so, yes.
Okay. Have you noticed if the two girls argue with each other, who do they look for guidance on a dispute?
Both foster parents or even the siblings.
When you observe that dynamic, would you say it's a normal, traditional hierarchy of authority in the home?
Oh, absolutely.
So do the girls overrun the foster parents?
No.
Do they mind the foster parents?
Like, do you mean go to them for like support?
Do they behave as directed by the foster parents?
Oh, absolutely.
And do the children seem to have any structure in the placement home?
They have quite a bit of structure. They do go to a daycare program.
Okay, in the daycare program, are you aware of any friendships or authority figures there that the children may be bonded with?
Yeah, they really enjoy playing with the other kids at daycare.
Okay, are the children able to tell you, well, the older child's verbal, is the younger child verbal? Are they able to tell you the names of kids they play with at daycare?
I don't believe I've ever asked, no.
Okay, or their teacher's name?
I don't believe I've asked because I've just said like how's daycare.
Okay, with respect to the little child, she is, have you observed her to look to the foster parents for guidance?
I have.
In what way?
Like when she's wanting a snack, she'll ask and she'll put her arms up to be picked up.
Okay, and does she have a living space at the foster home?
She does.
Does she share it with her sister?
She does.
And do you find that the children are in age-appropriate bedding?
Yes, they are.
Are they both in cribs?
Yes,
Are the foster parents practicing safe sleep?
they are.
Do you believe that they are following the reasonable, prudent parent standard?
They are.
Can you give any examples of their parenting ability that you have observed?
The foster parents?
Yes.
Sure. They ensure all the girls' needs are met. They engage with early on services to make sure the kids are on track developmentally. The oldest child, she turned 3, so she's no longer qualifying for early on services. So the foster parent was making sure that if she needed any additional referrals, that those would get done. They're ensuring the girls have structure, age-appropriate toys, and like you said, they're definitely following the prudent parent standard by making sure the kids have opportunities to participate in holidays, family traditions, birthdays, those types of things.
There are foster siblings in the placement, correct?
There are.
The children, you articulated that the children are bonded with those. They're boys, aren't they? So do they attend the boys' school events or athletic events, any of those kinds of things?
They do.
I think the family roots for Ohio State, is that fair to say?
I think so.
For Halloween, I think the girls had Ohio State costumes,
I think they did, yes.
but we don't want to lose the case, right? Anyway, they're a family that really has a lot of, so would you say it's a child-centered family?
Absolutely.
How is the house set up to support a child-centered family? What is the geographic location of things?
So they have a ton of age-appropriate activities outside, inside. If you walk in the house, there's like kids' artwork everywhere. There's family portraits everywhere. In the girls' room, they have their names up on the wall. One side has one name, one side has the other name. It's definitely a child-focused family.
Okay, developmentally appropriate toys.
Yes.
And would you say that the house plan is open so that the children can be observed, whether they're in the family room, kitchen, or play area?
Yes, and then they have the gates up to where they don't want the girls to go.
Okay, so now comparing the placement home with the biological home. At this point, father is incarcerated, and does he have a home outside of incarceration?
No, I don't believe so.
So mother has a home, she lives with the children's step-grandpa, is that true?
Yes.
Okay, and that's the same person that in the beginning of the case we heard about in the petition. Is that true?
That is.
Mom lives with the same person that we've seen some police reports more recently of disturbances at that home. Is that correct?
Yes.
Does mom have a lease in that home?
I don't believe so, no.
At one point you visited the home and found some safety concerns. Is that true?
That is true.
There were some outside the house?
The concern was just that it was very overgrown, but the concerns that were identified at the home have since been rectified.
Okay. When was the last time you viewed the home?
I believe it was in October.
Okay, and did you observe beds for both children?
She had one crib up at that time, and she had since reported she has another one.
Have you seen the other bed?
Yes.
And developmentally appropriate toys?
A few, yes.
Is there evidence that other children spend the night in the home where the biological mom lives?
Yes.
And those children are older, true?
Yes.
So at this time, there are no safety concerns at the biological mother's home, correct?
Well, the concern would be who she's living with.
Have you observed any bond between the children and the mother or father since the visits have been suspended in May?
No.
Mother's employment at this time, is it long-term?
I believe it could be, yes.
How long has she had the employment?
I believe about 6 weeks.
And where is that? What type of work is it?
I believe it's a factory type setting. I think it's called KC Metals.
And it's full-time?
Yes.
So she's had that about 6 weeks?
I believe so.
Does she have a lease at the home she lives in?
No, I don't think so.
Then a shocking moment hits the courtroom. The toddlers now call their foster parents mom and dad. The caseworker says the children are fully bonded and thriving in that home. Meanwhile, the biological mother only recently got a job, has no lease, and visits have been suspended since May 2023, meaning no one has even seen her parent these kids in over a year. Now the judge faces a heartbreaking decision: stay with the only parents they remember, or give the biological parents another chance.
She has reported wanting other housing.
Have you reviewed her budget?
I have not.
Has she been employed before this job?
She has.
Constantly employed, or has it been sporadic?
Sporadic.
Changing jobs often, but normally employed somewhere. Is that accurate? Do you know if she pays rent at the home she lives in?
I do not know.
Do you believe there are any advantages of the child's foster home over the parent's home for either or both child?
I do.
What are those advantages?
The normalcy that's provided, the bond the children have with the people in the foster home, and then just the overall foster parents' ability to meet the kids' needs.
Can you compare the structure of one home and the child-focused nature of one home to the mother's biological home, the biological mother's home and its environment?
Are you asking me to compare, like, if the kids were in the biological home?
How about the way it stands now, even without the children, the police coming and that kind of thing?
Yeah, so in regards to the foster home, I mean, it's a very focused, child-focused environment, like we mentioned. All the kids' needs are being met. In regards to the mother's home, as mentioned, there has been police involvement, and then But other than that, obviously we haven't observed the kids at that home.
Has mom been, is mom up to date on the children's medical appointments?
She has provided medical passports, yes.
Do you know if she accesses the information?
She signs it, so yeah, she does review it.
Does she attend any of the medical appointments?
She does not.
Is it because her visits are suspended? And with respect to early on, has mother been active in communicating with the teachers?
I don't believe it's a teacher, but I don't believe she's ever engaged in the early on services, no.
I'm not sure if it's what that position's called, but does she receive reports from early on?
We have not provided her any, no.
Does she reach out to get her own information from early on?
She does not.
Does she contact the medical staff that's taking care of the children?
No.
She doesn't participate in decision making? No. The children have had some significant issues. Remind me generally, I think they've got tubes in their ears?
Yes.
And then they've had medical issues even over the since November. Can you review for me, was it colds that they were seeing or RSV? What was it that the children were?
I believe they both just had colds this winter. It was last winter that I believe it was Kylie had RSV.
Okay. Is mom or dad making any of those medical decisions for the children?
No.
I object, Your Honor. My client has no ability to make medical decisions. Parenting time suspended.
I disagree completely. She's a legal parent and has access to their charts and to their, she can't see the kids. But
That's fine. I'll withdraw that. I'll question.
With respect to the two children, would you say that, I'm trying to get to their need for stability, a disruption in their housing at this point to change to any other foster home, to the biological parents, to a relative, would that be destabilizing to them?
Absolutely.
Would you talk to me about what is stable that would be disrupted?
I mean, I think their whole life is stable. You know, they have a routine. They're in daycare. They have the same routine every day. They wake up, they get ready, they go to daycare, they come home. It's the same household members. It's a very normal, structured day for them.
In the older child's history, well, I guess both of them, they've had different placements before this placement. Is that correct?
Yes.
Do you think it would benefit the children to be in one place permanently as opposed to changing placements?
Yes.
In what way?
It's always a benefit to children in their development to not experience more trauma, to be moved to different placements.
So they're looking towards the placement mother and father figure as a mother and father?
They are.
And are those people performing traditional mother-father roles?
They are.
And the other children in the household refer to those two people as mother and father, correct?
They do.
In this placement, has adoption been discussed with the placement?
It has.
Are they willing and able to adopt these children if the parental rights are terminated?
They are.
Are they a licensed foster home?
They are.
Is their license valid and active today?
Yes.
Do you see any barriers to them completing the adoption process?
No.
In this case, the children are placed in this foster care who is not a family relative. Is that correct?
Yes.
Is there any way to assess these two children and what their wishes are for staying here or going to a new place? Have you been able to talk to them at all?
No, I mean, they're only 2 years old. Well, the one just turned 3, but.
Okay. They're catching up a little bit verbally. Would you agree?
Yes.
So they're not especially articulate, correct?
They are not, no.
You articulated that the youngest child might not recognize her mother in your estimation.
Correct.
Did you say whether the oldest child would recognize her mother?
I had just said I wasn't sure of how.
And then the same for the father, same response?
I'm gonna say no to the father. It has been a significant amount of time since they've seen him.
And has he provided for any of the needs for the children while he's been incarcerated? They're both still in diapers, correct?
Yes.
Has his mother provided any outfits or diapers or needs for the children?
She did give a couple items at the last court hearing for them, and she has asked about their sizes.
Okay. Did she provide any Christmas cards or gifts?
No, yes, she actually did. I'm sorry.
Okay.
She did when we did that visit with the grandparents.
Okay. So the judge allowed a visit with a ill family member?
Correct, yes.
When you observe these two children, do you observe any bumps or bruises on them that cannot be explained by the caregivers?
No.
Would you say that they are socializing normally for their developmental stage?
They are.
And would you say that they're eating properly for their developmental stage?
Yes.
Now, the little one she didn't exactly crawl. She kind of scooted and army crawled. Do you recall that?
I do.
Is she walking now?
She is.
And would you say that their walking is on target at this point?
It is.
In the foster home, has the couple been married? Is the couple married?
They are.
And have they been married for a long period of time?
I believe so, yeah.
There are other children in this home that we talked about 3 boys, correct?
Yes.
Do you perceive that their needs are being met?
Yes.
And you're aware that one of those children is undergoing medical procedures, correct?
I am.
And despite he's been hospitalized for maybe a month-ish
Yeah.
with
week.
very high needs.
Yeah.
Just even though that has been happening for the family, there's been an adult with the children all the time for supervision. Is that correct?
That is correct.
There's a grandmother that comes in and out of the house to help.
Yes.
Is that the foster father or the foster mother's mother?
I believe it's the mother's mother.
Okay, so this grandmother is in and out of the house daily or often?
Correct.
Do you perceive then that part of the stability in the home is that they eat meals at a dining table together?
They do.
Have you observed any? Do you know if the older child is potty training?
They're working on it, yes.
What do you know about that?
That she hasn't really had much interest in it yet, but that they are trying to get her to go. It sounds like they were also working on it at her daycare as well.
And do you know if they have proper attire prepared for when she switches over?
They do.
And then have you noticed any area for brushing teeth, for example?
They're up to date on their dental exams, and there's been no concerns in regards to their dental care.
Okay. Thank you, Your Honor. That concludes my questions.
Okay, redirect, Ms. Thomas,
No, Your Honor.
recross.
Thank you. Guardian ad litem has asked you if mother's ever made a medical decision. I want to go since her testimony at trial. Well, let's say since, I guess, when is the last time mom has had the ability to make medical decisions in your point of view?
I would have to recall the file, I'm not sure.
So do you send her notices of when the kids are going to the doctors?
I do not.
Do you send her any notices about the results of the children's doctor's evaluations?
I believe I mentioned to her that the youngest child did get tubes in her ears, and then as mentioned, she does receive the medical passport, which lists out all the appointments and the outcomes of those appointments.
Okay. So why isn't she able to make decisions for these kids? Medical decisions?
In regards to just their well child appointments or surgeries or?
Anything. Because you've answered, the guardian ad litem asked you, is mother able to make medical decisions? Has she made medical decisions? And you said, no. I'm asking you, does she have the ability, in your point of view, to actually make decisions?
I mean, yeah, she definitely would have that opportunity. If she reached out to me and had questions or anything like that, we would definitely provide that information to her.
Well, couldn't she virtually attend these doctor's appointments so she could have some input?
She could.
Has that ever been offered to her?
It has not.
Okay. What family member did this child, I think it was a maternal grandmother that the children had a visit with, correct?
I believe so, yes.
Okay. So how many visits since that have you allowed this maternal grandmother to have visits with these kids?
They just had the one visit.
Why haven't you tried to keep that grand maternal bond? Why haven't you continued these visits?
It was just court ordered for that one visit, so that was the only visit we did.
I realize that, but why haven't you tried to keep the visit with immediate family, which is the grandmother?
Agencies just don't usually reach out to extended family members for visitation.
I haven't seen your report that the child does not have a bond with grandmother. That would be, I haven't seen that, correct?
Correct.
Okay. And did I hear you correctly that you testified mother stated to you that she wishes not to remain at this current location?
She did.
Okay. Did she tell you she has $3,000 saved up to move?
She did not.
Okay. Okay. You realize this court could render a decision of termination of her rights, or could also render a decision not to terminate her rights, correct?
Correct.
So what safety plan do you have in mind if the court decides not to terminate her parental rights?
In regards to the marijuana use?
No, in regards to my client reunification. If this court does not terminate my client's rights today, you have a safety plan devised for her to proceed with reunification.
We would just continue with the case service plan. We would ask if reunification was going to be continued, we would ask for therapeutic visitation.
Okay. And so you've not really prepared for my client having reunification with her children. Would that be accurate?
Like in terms of making like a referral for therapeutic visitation?
Correct.
We have not made that referral, no, because her parenting time is suspended. So that wouldn't have been something we were able to do.
So if this court were in the interim to allow my client to have supervised visitation, what would we need to do to get that started?
We would, if it was therapeutic, we would make the referral for that to get that started as soon as possible. If it wasn't therapeutic, we would schedule her visitation at the Lenawee DHHS.
And the court ordered that this child have contact immediately with her other siblings, with these children of this case have contact with the other siblings, the half siblings. What steps would this agency take?
The same situation, we could also explore community settings for this, like libraries.
So if my client's intentions are really to move and placement, you would never suggest to the court the immediate return of the children to my client without therapeutic visitation, right?
We would not.
Okay, nothing.
Mr. Brooks?
No questions.
Ms. Deal, did you actually call LDC to find out what the next 3 drug test results demonstrated?
I have received, I would have to look at the date specifically, but any additional testing other than what's provided was positive for Suboxone and THC.
Only? Okay. Were you able to go back out to the home during this last report period?
We did not know.
Okay. Ms. Heiss, did you have any more questions?
Just one. Is it the agency's position that it's in the best interest of the children to terminate their biological parental rights?
Yes.
Nothing further.
Any other questions based on my questions?
No.
One. You're not holding it against my client that she's taking Suboxone, correct?
No.
Nothing further.
I'm sorry, Ms. Thomas, did you say yes or no for questions?
I have none. Thank you.
Thank you for your testimony. You may return to your seat.
Then the courtroom hears something even more shocking. The caseworker admits the children's entire life is now built around the foster home. Daily routines, daycare, holidays, and a strong bond with the foster parents they call mom and dad. Meanwhile, the biological mother has only had a job for about 6 weeks, has no lease, and has barely been involved in the children's medical care or daily life. The agency says moving the kids now could destabilize everything they know, and the foster family is already willing to adopt them. Now the judge must decide, protect the life the kids know, or give their biological parents one last chance.
Any other witnesses, Ms. Thomas?
No, Your Honor.
Okay, Mr. McFarland?
I have 3 witnesses, Your Honor. I wonder if this might not be a time for a break.
For purposes of today's review,
Yes, review and to also go over the best interest factors.
if I could have just the names of your witnesses and a brief idea, and offer proof on which witness will be.
My client to testify as far as her current progress, Your Honor.
Okay.
I also have the stepmother, where her other biological children are placed, to testify as far as her current parenting skills, Your Honor. I also have a biological child in the court today to testify about her bond with these 2 children in this case and her desire to continue to have sibling visits. That would be the extent. The last witness would be very short. I expect the other 2 witnesses to take some time.
Mr. Brooks, will you have witness testimony today?
I will not.
Ms. Heiss?
Potentially, I have foster placement, but I don't intend to call them.
Okay. Any objections to Mr. McFarland's witnesses?
How old is the child?
21, she's sitting behind you.
Oh,
Or 20.
all right. No objection.
Your Honor, as it relates to mother testifying, I don't think I have grounds for an objection other than I don't have any proofs that have been provided to me from Mr. McFarland. As relates to her children's stepmother and parenting skills, as I've already objected earlier, don't believe parenting skills to children who are significantly older, not similarly situated to these children, they're not under the court's jurisdiction, is relevant at this time. And then as it relates to the half siblings bond with the children, desire for sibling visits, again, I don't know the relevancy here. These children have been removed from their parents' care and custody, I believe, since birth, just a few months old. And so the bond or lack thereof with extended family members, I think, has been discussed sufficiently. The last, has this case been open for 2 years or so? So it's been over 2 years. So I have I don't believe it is relevant at this time.
I could respond, Your Honor?
You may.
Your Honor, the question of the agency witness was my client's parenting skills, not specifically with these children, but it was her parenting skills. We're also asking prayer for relief today for my client to have parenting time. For the court to consider that, I think that's always an option for the court to consider. I think the court would like to know what my client's current parenting skills are to see if she would have the ability to parent these children. One of the best interest factors are the bond with siblings. And my other client's testimony and both of my other witnesses would describe the bond and the bond that's not been continued, Your Honor. So I think that is directly addressed in the best interest factors.
Any position, Mr. Brooks?
No, I'll support Mr. McFarland.
Ms. Heiss?
Yes, I think that the other bio children are not similarly situated. They're verbal. They have had a history with the parents, and their bond would be completely different. It would be apples and oranges and a waste of the court's time to understand the differences. And I don't know that there would be differences, but if we were to really look into not just what they present today, but what their other data is, I think we would be here a long time. But also the biological sibling, I don't know what the relevance is of any bond information. If there is a bond, it's from one visit since before May. And also, starting visits, the attorney can present the family wants visits. So I don't think those two, I'm eager to hear from mother, and I have only the foster placement if needed as a witness.
Any other comments, Mr. McFarland? Before I make my ruling?
Well, Your Honor, there's also some testimony given by the worker about concerns about my client's prior addiction history and her dealing with drugs. And I think testimony of my witness who directly visits the house, the stepmother of the other children of my client, that she'd be able to testify directly as far as the condition of my client's house, the condition of my client, her appropriateness around children. I think children would also indicate her biological children. We could extend that to the other children who are in foster care placement. So I think it's relevant testimony, Your Honor.
Thank you. As far as the bond with regard to the older sibling, I don't think that that's relevant for the reasons that were articulated by Ms. Thomas as well as by Ms. Heiss, which is namely that particular bond would not be similarly situated. Plus, the record has to speak for itself as it relates to the bond between this parent and child, and all of those hearings during the period of time where she had visitation speak for themselves, and any contradictory evidence should have been heard during that time. If she has any observations about or if anyone has any observations, including the stepmother or the older child, about observations of Ms. Patterson with her children, those should have been raised during the review periods wherein it was witnessed or addressed. So for those reasons, I'm not going to allow the presentation of proofs on that point, which I think eliminates the reason for the sibling that was requested for purposes of testimony. As it relates to the parenting, also your client, the record speaks for itself as far as her parenting goes during visits, and all of those things are also in the record. So how she behaves around perhaps older children that are not similarly situated really has no relevance to how she is approaching this particular case. And if it does, then it should have been brought up during the period of time. For example, when we had to relegate your client's parenting time to once a week because of issues that were happening during parenting time. And then again, when it had to be relegated to supervised only, that would have been the appropriate time to bring testimony as it relates to her parenting time. The record speaks for itself on those points. So for those reasons, I am going to deny the testimony of the stepmother and the sibling, but I will of course allow Ms. Patterson to take the stand on those points. As it relates to the home where Ms. Patterson is living, I would need you to lay more foundation as far if the stepmother is able to testify to that or not. She's on that point. Do you have any further?
Yes, Your Honor. I do have a question for clarification also. But yes, my understanding is she is present at the house. She's been there. She can testify to the conditions, the current conditions.
That's just, okay. So when was she there? What is she going to be able to tell us that she saw? How often is she there?
I don't know that particularly, Your Honor. Also, I thought I heard the court testify that you were going to treat this as a continuation of the termination trial. And I think these witnesses I would have been able to bring at the termination trial, just for the record.
This is a review which is consolidated with the termination trial. So in that context, you're correct, but you're also limited to things that have happened in the last report period because of the continuing record that is our proceeding. So for those reasons, the court's rulings remain the same. I also do not find that we have enough, based on the offer of proof at this time, to allow the stepmother to testify as it relates to the current living conditions of Ms. Patterson.
I guess would the court then reconsider that on the testimony of my client if she were to testify the frequency and the observations this client would have made? I'll make that most of the time.
Thank you. Very good. All right. I have no more time available to you today for purposes of testimony, but I have tomorrow commencing, I think, at 10:30, assuming that the 10 o'clock would only take a half an hour, Ms. Thomas. I look for your thoughts on that.
Your Honor, I think the pretrial itself will be pretty short. I think we're really just waiting on this court's direction on that case. So if that's agreeable to me, I would have to appear via Zoom and have a hard stop at 11:30. as I have an appointment that I have to attend.
Okay, Mr. McFarland, would you be available commencing at 10:30 tomorrow?
Am I on the 10 o'clock case?
I don't know.
Oh, well, yeah, I'll be here, yes.
Ms. Heiss?
I am available. The agency caseworker is asking if she can participate by Zoom.
No objection.
Yes, that's fine. Mr. Brooks, do you want a ruling on your client's case today? Do you want to come back tomorrow morning at 10:30?
I'll come back tomorrow morning.
All right. Okay, so Mr. Anderson, we'll do our best to make sure that you're able to rejoin us tomorrow morning at 10:30 as well.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow at 10:30. All prior.
The courtroom drama heats up as the judge shuts down attempts to bring in the stepmom and older siblings to testify about the mother's parenting and sibling bonds, ruling it irrelevant since those kids aren't similarly situated and the record already reflects supervised visits. Miss Patterson can still testify herself, but any proof from the stepmom about her current home is denied. The focus remains on the last report period, leaving the mother with little room to sway the court. Tomorrow at 10:30 a.m., everyone, including the father, rejoins via Zoom, with the stakes higher than ever. The children's future hangs in the balance.